Hello and welcome to the Michigan International Speedway here today for the Hardline Truck Series painted by Overdrive Graphics, Michigan 150. I'm Justin Kolb. A one-man show here tonight. Michael Skinner still dealing with some sick issues, so taking another day off. And as we tweeted earlier, going to be our only race of the week today. Our usual Wednesday races here for the Hardline Truck Series, and going to a track that is fairly similar to one we've been to earlier in the season, that being Auto Club Speedway. Michigan International Speedway, very similar to that track in how big and how wide it is. And just about 4 minutes left in qualifying. See the time there. We'll put up the board real quick. And surprising enough, Justin Laxton not on top right now. That spot actually belongs to Justin Brown in there. But you can see on the side just how close these times really are. And one thing to note here, last week at Kentucky, Justin Laxton got his 4th win of the season and his 3rd win in a row. So back-to-back-to-back wins last week, and looking to make it 4 in a row here and 5 on the season today. And that would be quite the feat. Not seen very often here on iRacing, so it'd be pretty incredible if he could pull that off. But again, last time we were here at a track like this, Auto Club Speedway didn't have the easiest of races. Had the 17 of, I believe, Dustin Williams and the 05 there in the field tonight. Anthony Palumbo in the 05 Zaxby's truck. Had to deal with those two to get the win. It was a very hard-fought battle. But at the end, we did see the 53, Justin Laxton, going to victory lane for the first time in the season. And so far, it's looking like Justin Brown may be a competitor tonight. Was in the field at Auto Club. Believe he got in a wreck early there and took him out of the running for that win. As far as the points go right now, it's looking like Justin Laxton currently a 40-point lead over the 24 of Rusty Capel, so not quite to the championship yet, but nearing ever so close to it as the races go on. Should mention next week is an off week for this league, the Hardline Truck Series, and they will go to Gateway in about 2 weeks, so should be interesting when they go there. Not a track we go to very often here on iRacing, so nice change of pace. You can see just about a minute and a half to go. Just how close those times are, with Brown doing a 39.768 and Laxton a 39.786. So flip those last two numbers around and there you go. 14-car field here tonight, so should be fairly crowded around this very wide racetrack here tonight. 75 laps. Thinking pit window probably going to be around, I want to guess, 20 laps. I might be wrong on that one. Didn't really get to see anyone make a fuel run, so that strategy will be put to the test here tonight. And there you can see Justin Laxton there in the paint truck for what I presume to be for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. For the month of October. Not sure if you're going to see a lot of pink trucks around the racetrack here tonight, but again, that is an option, and always nice to see some of those pink cars going around the racetrack. It's about 30 seconds to go here on qualifying, and then we grid them up, do a pace lap, and set them green for 75 laps here tonight. And guys running around 180 into the corner, not really letting off a lot. Maybe half throttle the most around the corner and then back to the gas. So draft going to play a big factor here tonight. Qualifying just wrapping up here. And the checkered flag is out. So we'll take you through where everyone's going to be starting here tonight. Justin Brown actually going to be starting on pole here tonight, with Justin Laxton starting 2nd. Corey Hoover 3rd, Anthony Palumbo 4th. William Long 5th, Jonathan Christopher 6th, Jess Story 7th, Rusty Capel 8th, Philip Neese 9th, David Hayne 10th, William Kruzka 11th, Hilton T. Young 12th, Richard Hines 13th, and Cody Tabor 14th here tonight. So with Auto Club being our precursor for this race that we had earlier in the season, should see a lot of action here tonight. Again, this track very wide, very fast, and the draft going to play a huge factor in who's going to win and who's going to lead the most laps here tonight, or in terms of who's actually going to lead any laps tonight, I should say. Again, don't see it a lot with other cars, but especially here in the trucks, that's where you're going to see the biggest advantage with the draft. So these guys gridding up here again once everyone hits the field. Doing one pace lap around this very long track, and going to be set to go for 75 laps. There's your pole sitter there, just waiting on David Hayne to grid up here, and then we'll be set to go. So should that guess on pitch strategy be correct, looking probably around a 3-stop race, and if that strategy is shorter, looking probably at a 4-stop race. And cautions will definitely play a factor in how many stops we actually get. So these guys rolling off. It'll be pretty interesting to see how much of really how long the 53 can stay up in the front here. We've seen these past 2 races here on Full Throttle TV, that truck being able to get out in front and nobody being able to touch him. Well, that's going to be I should say, a different story here tonight with how close these trucks are going to run towards each other, and it's basically going to be like a smaller super speedway, and the 53 Justin Laxton actually falling towards the back there. Very interesting. Not sure what happened there. Imagine an EOL. Not sure if it was requested or if it was some sort of penalty, but nevertheless, it's going to put Anthony Palumbo now in the 2nd position here for the start of this race. But Justin Brown's still going to be leading the field here to the green flag. The question's going to be how long can he keep it for. And again, Anthony Palumbo, so strong last time at Auto Club Speedway. Should see the same sort of performance around the Michigan International Speedway. Getting ready for the pace car to pull down here. And there it goes. So it's going to leave the field in the hands of Justin Brown here. And the green flag flies. We are green for 75 laps around Michigan. A good start by the 81 there, looking like a little bit of help. A little bit of a push behind with the 2 of Corey Hoover. He's going to try and get to the inside there to get to the preferred lane. Don't think we'll see a lot of guys towards that higher line. Did see some of them try it in qualifying and practice, but now it's side by side for the lead here down the back straightaway. Corey Hoover with what should be the preferred lane here, going to try it again into 3. Justin Brown with a good run down the back straightaway, and he should pull as we get to the front straightaway here. 79 of Jonathan Christopher up to the 3rd spot. Brown going to lead lap 1 here. Jonathan Christopher right behind Corey, battling for that 2nd spot. It's looking like Jess Story going to get by for the 4th spot. William Long up to 5th. Dave Hayne going to try and get to the inside of William Long there. That'll be for the 5th position. Almost loses it. But a great save by that 28. He's going to lose all that track position and more. And already on the move there is the 53 of Justin Laxton. Started from the 14th position. And in about 2 laps, going to make it up. About half through the field there. Up to the 7th position. Possibly more here. Shouldn't be too long before he gets up to the front. And already seeing the 05 of Anthony Palumbo. Not sure what happened to him on the initial start. Saw him go all the way high, right where he's at now. But already back to the 13th position, fights back towards the 12th. So a little bit of a disappointing start here for the 05. Again, so strong last time we were at 2 Mile Racetrack, and looking like he's going to have some trouble getting through the field here tonight. Back up front, the 2 of Corey Hoover, notable face we see in the Upper Edge Racing London Recreational Cup Series, and showing his face here tonight in Michigan International Speedway, the Hardline Truck Series, already up to the 2nd position. And one face we haven't seen a lot towards the front, that's 79 of Jonathan Christopher. Already has 1 win on the season, came at Phoenix. That was his first win here in the Hardline Truck Series. Looking to make it win number 2 here, just about 2 positions shy of the lead. Going back just a little bit there, got a battle for, I believe that is the 5th position, between the 38 of Philip Neese, and now it's going to be the 22 of William Long. That's for the 4th position, and right behind them, the 53 of Justin Laxton, already making early moves through the field here, showing how strong of a truck he has. Down the back straightaway we go. You can see the 2 of Corey Hoover took the lead there down the back straightaway, but now the 81 of Justin Brown going to try and take it back here on lap 5. So far what we're seeing here tonight, that high line looks like it's probably going to be the preferred lane as we get later into the race here. Bottom line seems like it's okay to run, but definitely seeing the strength there all the way to the wall. I guess I don't have to tell Justin Laxton that he'll run looking like any line around this racetrack and still pass cars up to the 4th position, and now the long gap up to the top 3. Corey Hoover now switching spots to the low line there around 3 and 4. As those guys ran side by side, it allowed the 79 of Jonathan Christopher to catch up just a little bit to those front 2. Now could see a battle for the 2nd position between the 79 and 81. Going back in the field just a little bit there. Now we'll go to the 4th position. Very close racing for that 4th spot between the 53 Justin Laxton, 38 Philip Neese there. Looking like Neese just got a little bit loose exiting 2 and gives it up to the 53 of Laxton. Side by side again through 3 and 4. That's the 7 of Jeff Story battling the 16 of Hilton Young. That's for the 7th position. A little bit farther back there, you see the 24 of Rusty Capel fighting in that 10th position. Currently 2nd in the points again. The start of the race, a 40-point lead. The 53 head over the 24. See how much that fluctuates at the end of the night here. Just a little bit farther back, in the 13th spot, the 05 Anthony Palumbo again started on the front row due to the 53 having to fall back, and all the way back to the 13th position. Hasn't really been able to make a lot of ground up. You can see right there battling for the 12th spot. That's the 29 of Cody Tabor he's fighting against. Going to get that position. May have to see a caution to get him back up front. Speaking of front, the 2 of Corey Hoover gapping the 81 of Justin Brown just a little bit. Gained a 10th so far. That gap about 2/10 of a second. Have to see if the draft will play any sort of a factor on the 81 reeling in the 2 again. You can see these front 3 up at the front of the pack there. Now you can see back in the field just a little bit, the 53 of Justin Laxton hasn't really made up a huge amount of ground on these guys. About a second is the gap back to that 79 of Jonathan Christopher. About 2 seconds back to the lead. It's sort of just stabilized now at about 1.1 seconds. Could be due to the draft, or maybe just wearing the tires off that truck. Michigan not really known, I don't believe, to be too rough on tires, and saw the rear end of 79, Jonathan Christopher, step out just a little bit here as we take lap 11. Just looking through the field here, somewhat spread out through the field, but it seems like you just got a couple of packs racing each other through the field. And now all of a sudden, 53 Justin Laxton to the back bumper of Jonathan Christopher there in the 79. Saw the loose condition he had out of turn 4 last time around, and looking like he may have had the same situation in 1 and 2. So the handling of that truck possibly going away early in this race. Only about 64 laps to go here in this race already. So lap 12, looking probably around, should my guesstimate be right, around 10 laps away from our first green flag stop. If it comes sooner, we'll gauge off that. Question is, who's going to be the first one to come down? So right now, the battle for third here between the 79 and 53. See, it was a fairly easy cakewalk for the 53. Justin Laxton getting through most of the field. Now he's having a fairly difficult time trying to get around the 79 here. Again, could be an issue of just burning the tires off, or could just be the competition stiffening up as you get further into the field. And 38, Philip Neese not too far behind as well. Hasn't lost this little 2-car pack there. Go a little bit further in the field there. Got a little battle going on for that 8th position. Was going on there between the 22 William Long, 16 of Hilton Young. And up front, that gap has not changed really whatsoever. 0.2 of a second. Still the gap between the 2, Corey Hoover and the 81 of Justin Brown there. Corey currently 9 laps led, Justin with 4, and the only 2 lap leaders here in the race so far. Justin Laxton has gotten around the 79 of Jonathan Christopher. That's for the 3rd position, so now he'll set his sights on that 81 truck. It's a long ways up. About 2 seconds is the gap if he wants to make it all the way up there. It's always interesting to see around these tracks too. Just you get around one car and they don't seem to quite disappear, and that's I believe mostly due to the draft and how strong it is, especially with these trucks and how limited on horsepower they are compared to, say, an A car around Michigan International Speedway. That gap towards the front tightening up just a little bit here. We're right on board with the 81 of Justin Brown here, and see how he tackles this racetrack. One thing you may want to listen to is how much throttle he gives through the corners, really how much he lets off. Shouldn't be a huge amount through the corners, however, 16 laps in. You can hear them pedaling it a little more than they may towards the beginning of the run. So down the back straightaway there, just watching how much of a run that 81 was able to get on the 2 of Corey Hoover, just not quite fast enough to get him beat into the corner, or at least entering the corner. It's interesting the difference of lines through the corner, kind of running the same line. We've seen from some drivers that high line be more effective than all the way down towards the bottom of the racetrack. But so far it's looking like these top 2 running all the way towards that white line there. In some cases, some drivers are able to run on that apron A little bit of a slip up there from the 2 of Corey Hoover. Now that's going to be a side-by-side battle for that lead. Seen it from a couple of drivers already. Seems like out of 4. Not sure if it's arrow push or just some cars a little looser than others exiting that corner. Justin Brown has not quite completed the pass yet. Looks like he's not going to be able to. Maybe trying to cross over here as they exit the corner. Should have a good run down the back straightaway. Not looking like a good enough one to try anything quite yet. While those guys battle, they battled side by side. That allowed the 53 of Justin Laxton close into almost just about a second now. 1.2 seconds is the gap. And should be closing in here on our first round of green flag pit stops within a few laps here. So we'll ride on board with the truck currently closing in. These guys thought I heard someone hit the wall off of 4 or off of 2 there. I think it might have been the 2 of Corey Hoover. So now the 81, Justin Brown, going to try the high side around 3 and 4. Side by side for that lead, looking like Corey might have the better run off of 4. They get to the line, the 2 going to have the advantage here as we take lap 20. It's really interesting to see. It's looking like anywhere that 2, Corey Hoover, goes, he's still able to hold off the 81 of Justin Brown. Brown going to give it another run down the back straightaway here, side by side for the lead. Last time we saw the 2 on the bottom line, and well, now it's looking like the 81, Justin Brown, a little bit loose in the middle of 3 and 4. That's going to allow the 2 to be able to carry the power out of 4, and will retain the lead there. It's looking so good as they really entered the middle of 3 and 4 for the 81 of Justin Brown, looking like he was going to have that complete. And again, as we've seen from so many drivers here tonight, that little wiggle really exiting 4 is what kills the momentum. And don't look too far behind, but now we see the 53 of Justin Laxton slowly closing that gap, 0.7 of a second. He is away from that 81 of Brown. Like that 2 had a little off-road excursion there, all the way, I think maybe to the grass. If not, ran over some, not sure if it was dirt or dust on that apron there. But did see a little kick up of something. Not sure what he ran over there, but well, we have the chance. I was going to say right along with the 53, but yeah, now that we got the chance, we're right on board with this 53 of Laxton, and again, 0.6 of a second there. You can see the gap to the leader. And already you can hear the 53 of Laxton shutting the car off, so playing some fuel strategy games here. Not too easy, I'd have to say, around this big of a racetrack. You can already see the 7 Just Stories. Something's actually happened to that truck. He's gone 4 laps down. Looks like he's going to pull it down pit road again. See some front end damage to that truck. He's actually going to keep it on the track. Just very slow around the racetrack he goes. One driver we were talking about earlier in the race, that 05 of Anthony Palumbo, made it up to the 6th position after looking like a struggling start to the race. Still about 6.5 seconds to the leader, about 3.5 to the 5th place car or truck, the 38 Philip Neese there. Back up front, 53 Laxton losing a little bit of ground due to a little bit of tire conservation there. A little bit of dirt there on the track towards the bottom portion of the track. 24, Rusty Capel, quite sure it's happened to his track. He's gone a lap down. Something's definitely happened to that 24 truck, looking like off turn 4 possibly. I have to see what happened there. A little bit loose off 4. I've been seeing it from every truck really tonight. And that might be where all the dirt came from. Spun around on the front straightaway on track. Surprised we didn't get a caution there. And yeah, you can see the dirt put down on the racetrack there. So he's going to bring it down pit road. It's looking like I believe, yeah, the 2 of Corey Hoover has brought it down pit road. So about 25 laps looking like going to be the window here. So it will be looking like maybe a 2 stop race here. Should you be able to save a little bit of fuel towards the end. So around lap 50, I'm thinking 25 laps to go. Should be the final time these guys stop. And the 81 and 53 now bring it down pit road with the 79, Jonathan Christopher behind them. 38 going to follow. Looking like that's all cars coming down pit road this time. That'll leave the 28 of David Hayne on track. And will be the only car who has not come down pit road, so should see him bring it around possibly this time, if not a little bit later. See there, the 81 going to be first off in that battle. Justin Laxton actually going to lose a position to the 38, Philip Manise there. So Hayne going to keep it out one more time here. And while green flag pit stops have looking like just completed with the exception of David Hayne here. Gonna take a quick break. And we'll be back just a few minutes. There's your top 5. And we'll be right back and be side by side. So when the 28 pits, looking like it may be this time towards the bottom of the racetrack, you won't miss a thing. Don't go away. We'll be right back. And welcome back to the Michigan International Speedway here for the Hardline Truck Series Michigan 150. 32 laps in the books tonight. And with those green flag pit stops, you could see in the break, that gap that Corey Hoover had, it's a long ways back to the 81 of Justin Brown there. Looking like when the 2 of Corey Hoover came down that one lap earlier, I didn't expect that much of a difference to be made on track, but about a 6-second lead Corey has over the 81 of Justin Brown there. Justin Laxton still about 3 seconds back even from Justin Brown in the 3rd spot, almost 9 seconds back from the lead. So not sure if it was just a difference of getting on and off pit road a little bit quicker than the rest of these guys, but Corey Hoover out to a pretty extensive lead here. Again, 6 seconds is the gap there. And looking like, unless we get when we get another pit stop here, that's gonna possibly cycle things around again, unless we get a caution out. Either way, the lead of the 2 of Corey Hoover, it's looking like it's growing right now. And as soon as I say that, it starts to diminish just a little bit, but unless a mistake is made, thinking it may just be Corey Hoover's race to lose here. Going back to the 3rd position here, a battle for the 3rd position between now the 53 of Justin Laxton and the 38 of Philip Neese. Not seeing a lot of battles around the racetrack right now, so green flag pit stops definitely, shaking things up here in terms of where everybody is really time-wise towards each other, and the gaps are, at least to the leader, pretty crazy. And again, I did not expect at least 1 lap difference coming to pit road to make that much of a difference on track, but something for these guys to take note of here as we start to close in on our next green flag stop. That'll be with about 25 laps to go, and believing if you can save enough fuel towards the end, possibly just a lap. Well, I'm thinking with how long the 28 of David Hayne went, we'll probably be able to stretch it all the way towards the end. So thinking 1 more stop and these guys will be good to go to the checkered flag. This race caution free so far, so we take a quick race recap. Again, no cautions so far and 4 lead changes as of now. Only 3 leaders so far have been the 2 of Corey Hoover, 81 of Justin Brown, and the 28 of David Hayne. Take a quick look at the weather as well. Partly cloudy skies we're looking at here today. 78-degree air temp and 104 track temp, so not the hottest we've seen, but it is fairly up there, and 55% humidity. Now you can see the battle we were watching, the 53 Laxton starting to pull away just a little bit from that 38 of Philip Neese there. And the gap to Corey Hoover hasn't really changed much. If anything, he's lost about 3/10 to the 81 of Justin Brown. 5.7 seconds is still the gap. And each time looking like Corey Hoover just about 2/10 better. Each lap we'll have to check out times at the line this time around. Corey with a 40.965. Brown with a 40.913, so not a huge difference there. But it's pulled in about another 10th on track. It's up front, it's probably going to be an easy ride, so we'll ride on board real quick with the 2 of Corey Hoover and see how he gets around Michigan International Speedway. See up ahead, really clear sailing. One lap car just ahead of him. Now that lead, the 81, or excuse me, the 2 Corey Hoover had, starting to close down a little bit more. 5.5 seconds is now the gap back to the 81 of Justin Brown. 35 laps to go, looking about 10 laps away from our what should be final green flag stop. We'll have to see how much that shakes things up as well. It'll all depend on where everybody is on track. In terms of really how much can that 81 of Justin Brown close up on the 2 of Corey Hoover here before they have to hit pit road again. Now it's looking like everyone's spread out to just over if not a second on the track from each other, so interesting to see. Saw at Auto Club looking like they were a little bit closer towards each other throughout the race. Maybe due to this being a daytime race, or could just be the draft not playing as big of an effect. The truck you saw there on pit road, the 7 of Just Story, about 5 laps down. Only 10 trucks left on the lead lap, with Cody Tabor being the last truck on the lead lap, and Rusty Capel being the first a lap down. And then William Long, four laps down, and Just Story 5. So now we are seeing that gap to the 2 of Corey Hoover slowly going down, and again, not at a alarming pace. There's the gap right there, but it hasn't gone below 5 seconds quite yet. He started, he being the 2 of Corey Hoover, with about a 6.5 second lead, so still over 5 seconds. Again, as we close in here on our last green flag stop, be really interesting to see, should that 1 lap difference make that big of a difference again, or again that could have just been the 2 just getting around pit road on and off better than the rest of these guys. But either way, a very demanding lead this 2 has pulled out to ever since he's gotten off pit road. Looking like a battle back here may be developing, or something wrong with that 16 of Hilton Young. Was slow on the back straightaway. The 28 David Hayne was able to catch him at a pretty good rate. So we have a caution out on the speedway. The 5 or the 05 of Anthony Palumbo gone around on the French straightaway, and that might just shake everyone's strategy on pit road up. Not quite sure if they could make it 30 laps on a fuel run, so maybe, I don't know, we'll have to see here, but first off, we'll see what happened to that 05 of Anthony Palumbo. Looking like just loose off turn 4, and around it went. Get a better look at it here. It's looking like it's been the trouble spot all night. Yeah, just, really, that was in the middle of 3 and 4. It's a really weird spot to break loose at, but 3 and 4 have been the trouble spots all night for most of these trucks, and we've been seeing that's where most of these guys have been getting loose at. So, scratch that 5 second lead the 2 of Corey Hoover had. Throw that out the window, and have to see how this shakes up. Strategies again. I don't think they'll be coming down 29 laps to go, so should be able to make it. Again, I'm not quite sure how far they can really stretch this out to, so be interesting to see. May have to see a little bit of fuel conservation here towards the end, or it might not just be that big of an issue. But either way, this is probably going to be the money stop of the race. The 53, Laxton misses his pit box a little bit, had to back it up. That's definitely going to hurt him as they exit pit road. And off pit road first, looking like the 2 of Corey Hoover had the 81 beat. 79, Jonathan Christopher going to get off third. 38, Philip Neese are going to get off fourth, and Justin Laxton going to lose 2 spots due to missing his stall. All right, while they cycle around here, going to take a quick break again and take you to the checkered flag once we get back. Don't go away. Looking like this race is just about to pick up here. You saw it live. The 2 of Corey Hoover off pit road first, but an admin thrown penalty there. Listening to it during the break, thinking they were taking issue with where he got off pit road, possibly the first time. Heard them mentioning the yellow line. You can see it there around 1 and 2 where you exit off pit road, thinking he might have gone above it before when he should have. But either way, a very big penalty. Tail of the field goes the 2. And now he's got a lot of work to do if he wants to win this race here tonight. Only going to be about, I think, 27 laps to go. Yeah, going to be taking 26 when we get the green here. But overall, I believe he has a car that can be able to get up back towards the front. But either way, a very big penalty and not a very good time to have one. So up front now, it's going to be the 81 of Justin Brown and Jonathan Christopher. That's going to be your front row. Philip Neese third, Justin Laxton fourth, and Richard Hines fifth. Hilton Young sixth, David Haynes seventh, Rusty Capel eighth, Cody Tabor ninth, and Anthony Palumbo 10th. The 05 of Anthony Palumbo was also black flag under caution, so he's falling back as well. So that's going to shake up this start, but either way, the green flag is out fairly slow start for these leaders, but the 81 off to a good jump. Not quite sure what's happening in the back there. Two of Corey Hoover. Something, I believe there was some sort of incident there on the start. Possibly a bad night gone to worse for the two of Corey Hoover there. Saw some front end damage to that truck. A fairly big checkup, and the 05 and 2 make contact there. And you heard that bit of radio communication. Way to go. I believe that's what they were referencing. And definitely a bad night gone to worse for the two of Corey Hoover. He's going to bring it down pit road and most likely leave for tonight. Another tough break for the 05 Anthony Palumbo. Looking like he just got that truck to where he wanted it handling-wise. And gets caught up in that. Looking like he just didn't know the two was there. Possibly didn't see you and didn't listen to the spotter. And not quite sure what happened. Again, not in the driver's seat, so not going to make any calls there. But up front, the 81 Justin Brown back to where he started the race here tonight on the pole. Currently out front, 24 laps to go. Question is going to be, can they make it to the end on the fuel they have? Fairly certain they can. Caution laps probably help there. The 79, Jonathan Christopher, almost losing it there off two. I think that might be the first time we've seen a truck get loose off two tonight. But that allows the 53 of Justin Laxton up to the second spot now. Lost 2 positions on pit road due to overdriving his stall. Got 1 position back with the 2 Corey Hoover, who has disconnected, getting the black flag. And now up to the second spot. Again, Laxton 4 wins on the season, 3 in a row so far, looking for 5 on the season and 4 wins in a row. Be quite the feat if he can make it happen tonight. He's got to get around that 81 of Justin Brown, who's been so strong in recent weeks, but hasn't really been able to compete with that 81, or excuse me, that 53 of Justin Laxton. So far, 2 cars disconnected here tonight. The 2 of Corey Hoover and the 88, William Kruska. Jess Story in the 7 is off track. And the 22, William Long, 4 laps down, still in the running tonight. So we go a little bit farther back there. Looking like a battle for third starting to heat up between the 79, Jonathan Christopher, 38 of Philip Neese. Already on track, looking like these guys have gotten pretty well spread out here. And now basically on the back bumper is the 53 of Laxton. Just see how long it is before he gets to the lead, or at least the back bumper of that 81 will ride on board. Gap there, basically in the same line as each other. So we take the to the line, 20 laps to go here. This race basically taken a 180 from where it started here tonight. 2 Corey Hoover so dominant ever since the first green flag stop. Now finds him disconnected from the race due to an incident on the restart. Justin Brown back to where he started and dealing with the same truck he's been dealing with all season long. You've seen this basically in every battle here tonight. These guys being able to get to the back bumper, just not being able to get around one another. And that last time around, basically identical laps. Justin Brown with a better lap time by just 1/1000th of a second. And again, to the back bumper is the 53. Have to see how good of a run he can get exiting 4 here and on the front straightaway. All the way to the apron. Maybe trying to get the nose underneath. He's got it as they enter 1. Can Brown hold off the charge from the 53 of Justin Laxton? Really close racing as they exit 2. Side by side down the back straightaway. Advantage Justin Laxton. Now as we enter 3, the 81 with the edge. Side by side around 3 and 4. While they battle side by side, that's going to allow the 79, Jonathan Christopher, to close the gap, along with the 38 of Philip Neese. However, I believe this 53 might be able to clear the 81 here. And there it is. Put Laxton back out to the lead. 17 laps to go. And it's looking like 4 in a row is ever so possible here as we close in on the end of the race here tonight. The 81 going to try and get the nose underneath, entering 3. Take another shot to get back at the lead. Thinking he may be able to get side by side. On the front straightaway, still the nose to the quarter panel. And as we enter run 1, 53 is going to be able to clear Brown as they exit 2. Those two trucks battling side by side allowed the the 79 of Jonathan Christopher to close in just about 0.5 of a second. Something happened to that 81, possibly exiting 2. He lost about 0.2 down the back straightaway. And now the 53 of Laxton slowly pulling away. Closest battle now on track is for that 3rd position between the 79 and 38. And you can see just back there how spread out these trucks really are here. One thing of note, the 05 Anthony Palumbo has disconnected here tonight. And I'm thinking the handle might have gone away on that 81 truck. 0.8 of a second is now the gap to that 53 of Laxton. I'm thinking that might just increase here as we close down to the checkered flag. 14 laps to go, coming to 13. And again, 4 in a row looking very much possible here tonight. One thing to note, Full Throttle TV not a stranger to drivers going on hot streaks. Earlier in the season, the London Recreational Cup Series for the Upper Edge Racing League, 44 Michael Raya went on an absolute tear. 3 in a row we saw there. And now the 53, Justin Laxton, looking for 4 in a row here tonight. Unfortunately, looking like the 81 going to fall into the clutches here of the 79 and 38. As the 53 again starts to pull away. We're right on board here with the 81 of Justin Brown. now right behind him, that 79. Jonathan Christopher looking like he's just to the back bumper. Literally is to the back bumper now. As they exit 4. Looking like it's going to be a battle for the second position between this 81 and 79. 11 laps to go before we see the checkered flag here tonight. Off of turn 2, looking like the 79 was going to be able to stick the nose out underneath as they exited 2, and that's not going to be the case. He'll try again in 3 and 4. Not going to have a big enough run. One thing of note here, most laps led tonight going to go to that 2 of Corey Hoover. Again, so dominant as they exited pit road for the first stop. Over that restart for our first and so far only caution here tonight. Unfortunately caught up in an incident that takes him out of the running here tonight. Just Story is also disconnected, as well as the 22 of William Long. So 38 laps led for the 2 of Corey Hoover. He will go down as most laps led here tonight. But Justin Laxton looking like he's only going to be able to lead 18 laps here tonight. 8 laps led so far. And now we have a battle for the third position. That 38, William Neese, looking like he's going to be able to get around. Thinking that 79 might have gotten a little bit loose exiting 4, as we've seen most trucks get here tonight. Just put Philip Neese into the third spot. He'll give it a crack at getting second spot. And that 81, Justin Brown, slowly closing the gap now on the 53 of Laxton all of a sudden. A 10th better he was last time around than that 53. 7/10 of a second is the gap. And there's the gap right there. Doesn't really move down the front straightaway there. Eight laps to go. Don't believe this 81 will be able to reel in this 53. But I'll tell you what, this 38, Philip Neese, might be able to. All of a sudden, that truck has come to life. Was to the back bumper of the 81 of Justin Brown. And it's looking like he may be able to get... Definitely will be able to get to the second position here as he gets side by side down the front straightaway. Question is going to be, is he going to be able to get to the lead? Possibly take his first win of the season here. I believe this is race number 1 for this 38 of Philip Neese. Wide exiting to that 81 goes. Now it's going to be side by side for the second position. 7 laps to go, coming to 6. And put Philip Neese into the second spot. Going to be able to clear the 81. 5/10 of a second now is the gap to the lead. Now they race side by side again. And the 53, Justin Laxton, is loving every minute of it. So as they race side by side, that allows him to pull out his lead even farther. So the 81, Justin Brown, back to the second position. Definitely believe this 38 has the faster truck. Might be able to, again, get to the lead here. Should he be able to clear the 81? Contact made there in the middle of 3 and 4. Pushes the 81 wide. And to the second position, the 38 goes. Definitely a bold move as he entered 3. Basically threw it in there, tried to make it stick. Don't think the 81 is going to be too happy about that move. We'll take another look at that. You can see right when he put the throttle down, truck went up the hill, got into the front quarter panel there of the 81 Justin Brown. Not a lot of contact made, but definitely enough to hurt the momentum of the 81. Just 5 laps to go, coming to 4. Yeah, 4 laps to go here. 7/10 of a second is the gap. 8/10 now. Question's going to be, can this 38 reel in the 53? Definitely looked like he had the speed really late into this run. See right there, the 81 Justin Brown going to get around, or at least side by side with the 79 of Jonathan Christopher. We'll be able to clear him. They'll put him back into the 3rd spot. Have to see if there's any bad blood between the 38 and 81. One thing to note, you can see the 87 Richard Hines coming off pit road. Should we get a caution here, the race will be over either way. And 8/10 of a second is the gap now again from the 53 back to the 38. So unless something happens, looking like this 53 Justin Laxton may have this race all but locked up here. As you can see, that 81 really threw it into 3 and 4 there. Had the power down in the middle of 3 and 4, but that truck went high. Now going to lose all the length he had to the 38. Now going to fall back into the clutches of the 79 of Jonathan Christopher here. However, this 38 closed back 2/10 of a second now to the 53 of Justin Laxton, and that gap will increase again. So coming to the white flag. What a tear this 53 of Justin Laxton has been on. Last week got his 3rd win in a row at Kentucky, 4th win of the season. Now he's going to make it 4 in a row here, and 5 wins on the season. Down the back straightaway he goes, 6/10 of a second back to the 38. Philip Neese is the 81 Justin Brown. Gonna really dig hard in 3 and 4, but to the checkered flag, Justin Laxton, 5 wins on the season. Puts a tear on the field again here tonight. And one thing to note there, it's looking like this 81 and 38 may have a few words for each other. A little hit in the back bumper there. Another 79, Jonathan Christopher, going to give the 81 a little bump there. And a real big bump there. 79 going to go around into the wall. 81 of Justin Brown spins around in the grass. I'll tell you what, I did not expect that one coming. Justin going to pull it off the track now. 79 going to wheel it back down to pit road, and Laxton going to find his way into victory lane here. On the front straightaway, has to get through the bushes here. The flat bushes, I may add. Into victory lane he goes. We'll do the burnouts. 5th time in the season. And while he does that, going to get everyone situated for interviews here. And then we'll be right back. Don't go away. And welcome back to the Michigan International Speedway here for the Hardline Truck Series, painted by Overdrive Graphics. Michigan 150 here, just wrapping up tonight's event. And we'll take you through where everybody finished before we talk to our winner here. Justin Laxton, again, 5 wins on the season, 4 wins in a row. Quite the tear that team is on. Philip Neese going to come home second. Justin Brown third. Jonathan Christopher fourth. Rusty Capel fifth. David Haynes sixth. Hilton Young seventh. Cody Tabor eighth. Richard Hines ninth. And William Long 10th. Then Anthony Palumbo 11th. Corey Hoover 12th. A very disappointing finish to his race. Very dominant. Jess Story 13th. And William Kruska 14th. All right, now we'll bring in the winner of tonight's race.
Really, but
oh, I keep seeming to pull people in at the wrong time. Well, Justin, you got us?
yeah, I was just talking to some of the guys after the race, but heck of a race tonight.
Absolutely, I'd have to say. 5 wins on the season, 4 wins in a row. You ever going to let anybody else win?
Well, you know, we have a rule where if you win 3 races in a row, you got to start at the tail of the field for the 4th race. So if you win 4 in a row, you got to start at the tail of the field again. I don't know what we're going to do if it gets to be 5 or 6 in a row. I'll probably have to park it for a week or something. But the guys that put on this all travel sizes, Going Broke Racing, Chevy, they just do a great job every week.
Absolutely. I was curious why you had fallen back at the start of the race there, but that really didn't seem to stop you there as you tore through the field. And that last restart, didn't really think you had a shot at it, but somehow with about 15 laps to go, somehow you got the lead and never looked back.
Yeah, it was just about picking and choosing at the right spots and, you know, waiting for it and not trying to push it too much. You know, Justin Brown's a heck of a driver. He does an awesome job every week. And I was telling him before the race, you know, there's really only a handful of guys that I really concern myself with where they're at. He's one of them, but he's a tremendous driver. He gives plenty of room. Whatever, you know, he races you clean, races you the way you want to race. So kudos to him, too.
Absolutely. So, again, congratulations. 5 wins on the season and 4 in a row. I guess we'll have to see you in the back of the field next time we see you in about 2 weeks.
Yeah, we'll see you in the back in 2 weeks, but great job. I heard you were solo man tonight in the broadcast, so anxious to listen to it.
Yes, sir. Skinny still feeling a little bit under the weather, so should see him back next time we get here. So congratulations on that, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Sounds good. Thanks, man.
All right, so don't have our 2nd place finisher, Philip Neese, but we do have our 3rd place finisher, Justin Brown, so we'll bring him in real quick. All right, didn't interrupt you. Justin, you got us?
I got you.
All right, well, it was looking like that last restart, it was yours to lose, but somehow that 53 made it through the field and just came up a little bit short again. Walk us through your race tonight.
Yeah, I think on the last run I just kind of overdrove it a little bit early. Didn't save my tires like I should have. It was a pretty semi-long run. I mean, it was close to 25 laps, but I'll take a 3rd. You know, it's a good night.
Absolutely, and one thing obviously to note there, saw at the ending of the race a little bit of contact. Well, say a little bit, a lot of contact between you and the 79 of Jonathan Christopher. Was really expecting maybe some conflict between the 38 and yourself with that move in 3, but what happened between you and the 79?
No, just a little fun me and him have together. Yeah, the 38 got into me a little bit in, I believe, 3 and 4. Just pushing me up a little bit in 3 and 4, but I gave him a little bump there on the right rear after the race, just showing I wasn't happy, but you know, it's racing, it happens.
Absolutely. So 3rd place here tonight, can't be too disappointed about that. Should be a great points night, and we'll see you in about 2 weeks. So congratulations on 3rd, and we'll see you then.
Yep, sounds good. Hey, I want to thank you all for broadcasting and Tabor for the putting on the league.
All right, thank you. All right, so now we'll bring in Cody Tabor here to kind of talk us through. There we go. I was looking for his name. Walk us through some of the penalties assessed here tonight. And okay, we didn't interrupt you either. Cody, you got us?
Yeah, I got you there, Justin, in the booth.
All right, so saw that was final restart there. The 2 go to the back, as well as the 05 Anthony Palumbo. Walk us through the deal with that. I thought I heard you guys talking about that yellow line on too.
Yeah, well, to start off the night, we didn't have our off-track official, so we just kind of questioned it back and forth, going to look at the replay on at the end of the race there, and we had a off-track official get wrecked out, so he went back there and looked, and he found the 05 and the 29, which would be me, had crossed the line coming out of pit road and merging into the track, not off of 2. We didn't catch it until late in the race, until we had a guy that was able to go back and look at it, and that's why we give out those EOLs. And then the wreck that happened, that was kind of Palumbo there, so Hoover got caught in that. My apologies to Corey Hoover there, and Palumbo.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, thought I heard you guys talking about that, so pretty interesting that these guys are always watching, the administrators are, and now we'll switch over from admin to your night. Seemed like a fairly struggling night, for lack of a better word, for some of these guys, but especially you, one lap down here tonight, and didn't seem like very good handle on the car here tonight, or was it just the handling altogether with the racetrack?
I think it was more the racetrack, because I kept finding myself, I found some good long runs there at the end, but getting down below that first scene, the truck kind of get loose there in the corners about the last 20 laps when the tires started falling off. I just want to play it conservative right now. I mean, I'm sitting 4th in the standings as of Kentucky, so I guess we'll see where we're at tonight. We'll probably still be 4th tonight, so I'm just going to play it out consistency up until the chase starts.
Absolutely. Nothing wrong with playing it safe, especially when you're in a good spot for that championship. So, fairly disappointing night, I'm sure, for you, but a safe night for you, and should see you in about 2 weeks at Gateway.
Yep, we'll rebound and have a truck for Gateway there.
All right, we'll see you then.
All right, you have a great night, Justin.
You too. All right, so yeah, as we mentioned, next time you see these trucks racing, it'll be at Gateway, and that'll be in about 2 weeks. And won't see these guys racing next week, so next time we see you, again, as we tweeted earlier, a single race event this week. This being really the stand-alone race tonight for us on Full Throttle TV. No upper edge and no high voltage. So next time we see you here on Full Throttle TV, it'll be at Indianapolis for the London Recreational Cup Series for the upper edge racing at Indianapolis. So good race here tonight we saw, and that 53 continues the tear it's been on really since Auto Club, and should continue to see that tear as we head into Gateway with how strong that team is over there. So again, a good night for us tonight, for these guys here tonight. Next time we see you, it'll be at Indianapolis. I'm Justin Kolb. I thank you for watching here tonight, and we'll see you then.